Welcome to Stream vs. Stream.
So we're going to start off with the most basic flying machines you can make. So here we'll start off, you just place 2 slime blocks with an observer facing backwards and a piston facing forward. Then mirroring that process, you place 2 slime blocks with an observer and a piston. So now if you update this observer, this flying machine will start flying off. And you can build the exact same thing out of honey, so just repeating the same process. You just place 2 honey blocks with an observer facing backwards, piston facing forward, 2 honey blocks there, with an observer facing forward, a piston facing backward, and once again, if you update this observer, then this flying machine will go off. What's nice about this design is the piston push limit is 12 and you're only pushing 4 blocks with each piston, so you actually are able to add on some extra walls if you say want to put in some aero defense to prevent the enemy team from shooting you. And this will still be within the push limit. So if you send this off, this flying machine will still go forward. I recommend using the honey block version over the slime block version because honey blocks will actually stick to the player and pull you along with it, while with the slime block version of the machine, you need to run along with it, which is easier to fall off. So next up, we're going to look at how to make a faster flying machine. So this will be twice as fast as the default flying machines we've made over there. So for this design, you're going to have a piston facing forward with a piston facing up on top of it. You place a slime block with a redstone block in the front of it with 2 more slime blocks in front of that. Then you will repeat this process again with a piston facing forward and a piston on top of it. Now you're just going to wrap honey blocks all the way around the side and up next to these 2 pistons. And finally, to activate this flying machine, once you want to fly off on it, you just place a redstone block right here on the front, and that will carry you off much quicker than the other 2 flying machines. And now we are on to the water curtain flying machine. So as always, these are the materials that you'll need to build this, and once again, I recommend that you bring extras just in case anything falls into the void. You don't want to have to go back and get it. Also, this button is only necessary if you want to be able to activate the water curtain flying machine by shooting a bow. If you're willing to stand up next to it to activate the observer when you send it off, then the button is not necessary. So to get started, we're going to bridge out, place a slime block here with an observer facing to the side. And you want to put a sticky piston facing forward, just like that. Now you're going to go 1 block past, and you want to place an observer facing that way. This will be the observer that you use to activate the whole machine. Now if you want to send it off by shooting an arrow instead of having to be here, you can put a button here. Otherwise, you'll just place a block whenever you want to send this off. And you want to place a slime block there with a sticky piston here. Now this will be the engine that runs our flying machine. And the reason that we are using a different engine than the basic flying machine over there is because putting this observer pointing into this block will allow us to place a sticky piston here. And this will be what pushes the actual water generation module on the front. So now we're going to place a U of slime blocks around the front here. And then you want to place 3 sticky pistons in a V shape like that. So now these 3 sticky pistons will be pushing the waterlogged block and the block in between that allows the infinite water source to generate. So now to get our waterlogged blocks, you want to come out here like this, like that, break these blocks, and waterlog these 2 slabs. And now to activate all of these pistons, you need to go down here, place a block underneath of this sticky piston, and you're going to place downward facing observers on the side of that, pointing up into these slime blocks. And finally, you can break this block down here. And the last step, you will need to have a block underneath of this central water source so that an infinite water source can actually generate there. And break that block. And it is important, you need to make sure that before you send this off, that you have a water source block generated here, as you can see, and you want to make sure that you do have water in this column. If this column is empty, then the update order of the water as it flows across the flying machine will actually trigger this observer and mess the whole thing up. But now that you have it all like that, make sure you have those water sources there. Then all you have to do to activate it is shoot or push this button, and that will send off the flying machine, creating an infinite water source. And note that in this case, we made sure that the entire engine does not have any blocks in this column, so there's nothing that punches out this water after the flying machine.